Hi everybody, welcome back to this week's Pick a Card Oracle card reading. Yes, we will be doing a Pick a Card this week. I have skipped those for the past couple weeks, but wanted to do one this week. So this is the week of November 29th through December 5th. So into the first week of December, which is just crazy to me. It's so funny to me how so many of us are under these restrictions. We can't go anywhere. We're not really as busy as usual, and our days are different, and we're working from home, but yet time is still flying. So, yeah, into the last month of the year this week. So I have had a couple people email me and message me through Etsy asking if I'm going to be doing my yearly forecast readings. I will be. I will be listing those on Etsy this week. So make sure that you have favorited my Etsy store. I may run a Cyber Monday sale. I'm not sure yet, but if you favorite my Etsy shop, and I think it's just a heart you click on my homepage, I'll link that below, then you get a notification when I do run a sale or when I do list something new. So if you want a notification when I'm going to be doing the annual forecast or yearly forecast, which I like to do starting in January for the year of 2021. It's a 12-card oracle card reading that kind of gives you guidance for each month of the year. If you want notification of that, just make sure you have favorited my shop and you'll get a little pop-up when I list it. But I do plan to list it next week. It will only be listed through the month of December because my goal is to have all of those done before January starts. So get it when you see it if you want that one. We do have a full moon this week. It is a full beaver moon. So that kind of, to me, carries the energy of hibernation, of getting ready, like stockpiling, building your little kind of hermit. It does kind of have a hermit energy, your dam, your little cozy space, so that you can kind of go into some solitude for the winter. So it is the last full moon of 2020. I know most of you are probably going goodbye and good riddance, but it is the last full moon of 2020, so it's the last kind of bit of action before we move into 2021, and it's a good time to kind of round things up, take stock of any projects you want to let go of or continue to work on, that sort of energy, and that is on November 30th. So, I did mention we will be doing a pick a card this week. I do have 3 crystals here if you want to tune into those. We have the Chevron Amethyst wand. And then we have this peach Moonstone heart. That'll be pile 1, pile 2. And then this amazing black tourmaline, piece of raw black tourmaline. And that will be pile 3. I do have the cards drawn, but I have not looked at them yet, so I like to be surprised along with you all. I'm going to do the Power of Surrender deck for what to leave behind, what to leave in 2020, and then this Whispers of Love deck with guidance on how to nurture yourself, and the Messenger Oracle for what will be waiting for you to step into, what energy should you be moving toward when you awake from this kind of beaver hibernation. And then one from the Sacred Destiny Oracle that is, where does all of that lead? Where do you end up when you get into 2021? So again, this will be group 1, group 2, group 3, and let's go ahead and get started with group 1. So for those of you who took a liking to this Chevron Amethyst, and again, I always forget to say this until I have launched into the first group, but if you were guided to watch 1, 2, or all 3, that is totally fine. If you stumble across this reading and it is not during the week of November 29th to December 5th, and the information resonates with you, it's timeless. It's totally fine to take it whenever you find it, or to take bits from each one. Whatever resonates for you, whatever is meaningful for you, is for you. So let's get started for you, group 1, you Chevron Amethyst folks, and let's see what to leave behind. The energy to surrender, the energy to leave behind is surrender defensiveness, which doesn't really serve you, does it? It says defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out, then offer a clear, non-defensive response. And I think a lot of us are in defense mode right now. That's pretty natural given everything that has happened, especially in the United States over the last few months. But this is saying it's time to kind of let go of defensive mode. Let your defenses down a little bit. You don't have to be ready to battle, even if it's verbally. You don't have to be ready to prove your point. You can have all the knowledge you want and just hang on to it and know it's just for you. You don't have to always be trying to prove a point, because you're really never going to change someone else's mind. You can provide them with information and facts, but what they do with it is, their own business, and they're on their own path. So this also indicating that this week is going to be about communication for those of you who chose this crystal in group 1. So maybe make sure you're not coming from your egoic self, but you're really speaking from the heart this week. And then how to nurture yourself is going to be turn on your heart light, which is, I love, since I just said make sure you're coming from your heart. Allow yourself in this moment to reflect on a time when you experienced love. So, in order to drop your defensiveness, to let go of that energy, make sure that you're coming from your heart, living from your heart, speaking from your heart. Your decisions are being made from your heart. How can I be of service? How can I make this day easier for someone else without compromising my own values, my own ideals, and my own principles? Your first and only obligation in this lifetime is to be true to yourself and follow your own path and work on your own soul's lessons. But that doesn't mean we can't be heart-centered and kind to others along the way. So this is about kind of turning on that heart light and letting it shine so that you connect with other people that need your light. And then what will be waiting for you to step into when you awake from your hibernation? It is love without condition. So really, really a heart-centered week for you who chose group 1. And so this has kind of the same energy as the second card you got. This is all about coming from your heart center, loving without condition, and not saying, okay, just because I have this information and really I know it to be correct, I have to convince this other person or this group of people, or I have to spread this information. It's about knowing that what is true for them is their truth. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. And you can still love without condition. You can love from your heart space and allow other people to remain on their paths and know that that is right for them, even if it seems very wrong to you. As long as you are in alignment with what your ideals and goals and truths are, they can also be that, and those can be very different. So loving without condition, not putting parameters on that, is where you come out of when you've spent this hibernation period working on that heart chakra and being heart-centered. And then where does that lead? Where do you end up in 2021? And that's healing chaos. So it really does take the stress out of things when you are not worried about what other people are doing or thinking, or their behaviors or their actions, or trying to convince them that your way is the right way, or defending your point of view to the death. It really does heal a lot of chaos. It really does get you into a more centered, peaceful energy when you are only aligning with your own truth. And if you see the butterflies there, that is very indicative of huge transformation. So kind of the message here being sweeping out anything that is not in your highest good and allowing that transformative butterfly energy to come in 2021. So those are your messages of group 1. Let's move on to group 2. And that is for those of you who chose this lovely peach moonstone heart. So for those of you in group 2 that chose that moonstone heart, what do you need to leave behind? What should you surrender at this point? And it's surrender your ego. It says cultivate gratitude, be of service to others, and come from your heart. So very similar to the one that came out, the messages that came out for group 1. A big ego can work against you, but humility will further your goals. So just kind of a general energy. I think there is a lot of releasing going on, a lot of letting go going on. Partly because we are moving into a different time energetically, but also partly because people will take stock and assess things at the end of a year and say, everybody's like, I don't really want to take this with me. I'm just going to let go of it. It doesn't matter who's right, who's wrong. It's just time to let go. So surrendering your ego, knowing that you don't have to be right. You just have to be true to yourself. And then how to nurture yourself. It's ask for help. So I like this too for you, group 2. It says, what is it you really need help with? Be willing to allow yourself the support you need. So sometimes when we're in a place of ego, when we haven't surrendered our ego, we're very unwilling to ask for help or to see the perspectives of other people, or even entertain that there might be other perspectives that might be someone else's truth. Everything's relative and everything's about perspective. So by surrendering that ego and kind of letting your guard down and releasing those things that don't serve you, you're better able to ask for help and say, I don't really understand your point of view. Can you help me understand it? Or it could be more literal than that for you, group 2, this week. Or whenever you listen to this. It could be that you are moving homes, or you are switching jobs, or something a little more literal, and you really need to ask for help. And if that is the case, this is a really strong reminder or nudge from Spirit to say, it's okay. It's not a sign of weakness, and it's not going to make you look silly if you ask for help. It's going to make you look silly if you launch into something and don't know what you're doing and everybody notices. So this is more about asking for help. There are so many helpful people out there. People love to help other people when we come at it from a place of our heart where we're really sincere when we ask for it. So if you are needing to ask for help this week, please do so. If it is more general or metaphorical for you, then just remember, when you surrender your ego, let go of that egoic energy, you are better able to accept help from others and see the perspectives of others. And then what will be waiting for you to step into when you awake from this hibernation period? And it is embrace the dark. And I like this also because we are coming into a full moon, and this does have that full moon symbolism there. So this is also saying that everybody has a shadow side. When you surrender your ego, it's not all love and light. None of us are all love and light. There's always a shadow side, and sometimes we're deeper into that shadow side than at other times. This has been a really funky time energetically over the past year. So don't fight it if you're still feeling kind of funky. Just embrace it. And when you let go of the ego and you're able to ask for help, perhaps you've been dealing with depression or anxiety or something like that, it's okay to embrace those parts of you as long as you ask for help with it, as long as you seek the guidance of others, even if that's professional help and you need to talk to a counselor or see a doctor. A lot of us have a lot of anxiety right now, especially empathic people who are very sensitive to the collective energy. So this may be a message for some of you that it's time to surrender that ego and go, okay, it is time to seek some help. And just ask for help. It's okay to embrace those shadow sides as long as you're actively working on them. And then where does that get you? Where does it lead? Where do you end up in 2021? It's the security card, which is great given the message that just came out about maybe seeking guidance from a professional if you are dealing with some anxiety or some depression. It gets you a sense of security. And even if it is not that, if it is just working on surrendering your ego yourself and asking for help and entertaining the perspectives of others, that gets you into a place when you surrender your ego that you feel secure on a deeper level. This isn't the false security of the ego. This isn't that mask or that facade we put on for others. But when we surrender our ego and are able to ask for help and embrace the darker parts of ourselves that we have always felt we needed to change, it gets us to a really laid open place where we can be secure that we're not hiding anything. So whatever you need to do this week and this month and going into 2021, group 2, that gets you to this place of security, do it. You're going to be much happier when you're done with the work. So that's for those of you who chose the Peach Moonstone in group 2. And then on to those of you who chose this Black Tourmaline, group 3. So group 3, what to leave behind as you head into 2021, what to leave in 2020 and in this last week of the month of the year. It's surrender to your full power. So not so much something to leave behind, but something to step into. Your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. So for those of you who chose the Black Tourmaline, which is a really powerful stone of protection, just very powerful energy. Your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. So surrendering to that power, using that lion symbolism to kind of use your voice, use your roar, really move forward with that energy. It's also the energy of the sacral chakra and moving forward and being creative, creating new things, birthing new projects. Just feeling powerful and energetic and creative as you move into the future. And then how to nurture yourself if you chose the Black Tourmaline for Group 3. Love who you are. So really about being true to yourself, aligned with your own truth. What is it you want to put out there? How can you be of service? What is your thing? What did you come here to do? And loving yourself for what that is. And when you do that, you automatically step into your full power. It says you are a divine and wonderful person deserving of all the wonderful things that life has to offer. So, if you've ever looked at other people and, a lot of us compare, and we talk about that a lot in these readings. It comes up, don't compare. It's okay to contrast and say, what is this person doing and how would I like to do it the same or differently for myself that will help me align with my truth. This is kind of that same energy, really connecting with who you are. That's what gets you into your full power. Do you ever notice somebody when you're comparing and contrasting that it's like, boy, how did they align with that? That's such a specific job or such a specific purpose. And it's just, how are they able to make a living doing this? But when they are so aligned with what they know to be their purpose, when they are so aligned with that, that really gets you into full power. And it's really easy to manifest things that you want when you are that aligned with what your power is, what your goals are, and what your purpose is. So for those of you who chose Group 3 and chose this really powerful Black Tourmaline, this month and going into 2020 is really going to be about aligning with who you are and loving yourself for it, not despite it or not working against it, but loving yourself for who you are. So that you can step into your power and really align with what you came here to do. And then what will be waiting for you to step into when you awake from this hibernation period, and it's embrace spirit. So really a lot of you who chose this may be very empathic or very intuitive or wanting to step into a more metaphysical or spiritual or intuitive way of living or way of working. So this is saying that by embracing spirit, this reading, I feel like this one's almost working backwards. So by embracing spirit, they can bolster you, they can support you, they can keep you in touch and aligned with your intuition, which helps you love who you are. Instead of looking at yourself like, why do I feel this way? When you embrace spirit and are supported by spirit and the divine and God and the universe, or however you connect with it and want to word it, that helps you love who you are. And what does that do? That helps you step into your full power. And then the last one for you, Group 3, where does that lead? Where do you end up in 2021? And it's simplicity. But what I really get from this one is the symbolism of the feather, which is very much a symbol from spirit that loved ones are around. So maybe some of you who chose this one are either speaking to your loved ones in spirit a lot, or you are considering becoming a medium or working with your intuition, maybe reading oracle cards, tarot cards, just working more in the spiritual and metaphysical realms than you have in the past, or maybe doing that as a bigger part of your career or your job or for a living. So the energy I get from this is it's a big yes from spirit, and that's why that feather showed up. It does also carry the energy of simplicity, which, or the message of simplicity. I'm really getting a stronger message from the feather as a sign from spirit that you're on the right path if you're considering jumping into a more spiritual way of living or working. But it also, at the end of it, gets you a sense of peace and a sense of simplicity. When you step into your full power, you're not working from your ego. You're not constantly battling. You're not fighting. You're not at war. All these things that as humans we think we have to claw our way to the top of things. And it's not that energy. It's about when you surrender and step into your full power, it's about the ease and simplicity of your life because you are constantly filled with ease and joy and having a very fulfilled, aligned way of living. So it does bring simplicity. So those are your messages for this week. Group 3, I hope you all enjoyed these messages. We will be in December when we see each other again next week. Again, if you want one of the yearly readings, click the link below. I will have those in my Etsy shop this week. And do favorite the shop just in case I do run a Cyber Monday sale or any other sales, then you'll get notified. So have a great last week of 2020, and I will see you soon.